Stepney Football Club was formed in 1993, and over the course of the last 23 years, the club has enjoyed unprecedented success, playing a brand of football which has been the envy of their peers. I have here with me in the studio three of my teammates. Thank you very much for coming along, and hopefully we'll hear plenty about the escapades on the tour. The first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Muffazzal Uddin, winger for Stepney Football Club, Zaman, the veteran goalkeeper, and fullback Rachid Chibou. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Rash, first of all, how did this tour come about?
Well, it's something that we wanted to do for a while now. Due to unforeseen circumstances, it hasn't happened earlier. But with the help of Tariq Hussain, who many know as a travel writer, and obviously yourself, you helped a lot during the planning stages of the tour. We've managed to do it, and I'm glad from the feedback of everyone. Everyone had a good time and enjoyed it.
Sham, you've been involved with the club for decades now, I can say. You've been on other tours before. How does this compare?
We've been half around the world with Stepney Football Club. Places like India, Denmark, Sweden, even far stretches United States on football tours. But this has been a refreshing, as Rachid said, it's been a long time coming. But it was a really successful tour. There's a football element and a cultural element to it as well. I think the boys enjoyed it tremendously.
Mufi, how important has football been in your life?
I think football's been one of the main sort of elements in all our lives. I mean, we've been playing together since we were 15, 16, 20 years for the same club, Stepney FC, and we've gone on tours together. So it's played a big part in our everyday lives. I've probably spent more time with these boys in my sort of football career than with sort of other friends outside of football circle. So it's played a big part in my life, and surely my teammates' lives.
And just going on your visit to Morocco recently, did it help that you had a native like Rash in the team?
I think it made a big difference. Obviously, Rash being speaking the language and organising the game and the cultural side of it while we were out there made a big difference. And we were the service we got from Rashid's family, when obviously they catered for about 20 people in their house, was brilliant. But in terms of the
I'm still digesting it now.
The food was brilliant. The hospitality was second to none. So
Rash, a lot of effort was put into playing an exhibition, a friendly game with the local team, Jahara Football Club. Just exactly how much? Because when we arrived there at the stadium, we saw a spanking nice, clean stadium, and to me, the grass looked like it had just been set and everything. I'm sure it was not in that condition prior to us visiting. Tell me, a lot of work must have gone into preparation for that game.
Yeah, well, it's only been about two to 3 years now where they've relayed the, I think it's 4G they call it now, surface. It used to be literally just sand, and it was concrete underneath it. I remember a match that I played there a few years ago where I only thought it was just sand, and you go in for a tackle and literally you come out with scrapes, blood pouring, and from what it's gone from then to now, it's just fantastic for the facilities of a small town like Larache. Really, yeah.
Sham, you played in notable stadiums during your career with Stepney Football Club. How does this compare?
It comes up as high as other stadiums. Obviously, I've played in professional stadiums like Ibrox, Celtic Park, Stamford Bridge, and the like. But to see a stadium like that for the local community in Larache is fantastic. Before and after our game, we met some of the cadets who are training the young kids. Actually gave away some of my gloves and boots away, because the feeling was that they don't get this opportunity that much, but they are striving to become footballers, and that aspiration is there for them. So it sits high in my regard.
Mufi, you scored in that game. We'll come on to the details of the game a little bit later as well. How did that feel? Obviously, it's a feeling you never get used to, goal scoring. So I could ask you this question every day of the week, and you probably get a different response. So hence I'm asking you now as well, how did it feel like being on the tour in Morocco, going there, having a hospitable crowd and a team there around you, and then scoring one of the goals on the day?
Scoring a goal, any goal for Stepney, the feeling is different. But scoring on a tour, especially with the quality of opposition that we had, they were a very good footballing side. I mean, we played some good football as well, but the feeling of scoring a goal, or even trying to help your team score, it's an amazing feeling. I mean, in terms of going out there and playing not just the football but the cultural side of it as well, being together with your closest, it's almost family, friends for like 3-4 days. The banter all behind apart from the footballing side. I'm sure my teammates will agree. It was a sick tour, literally. So we enjoyed it. Thanks to Rachid and Tariq, and for yourself for organising it. It was a successful tour.
For the benefit of the viewers, if I just update you on the score on the day, we played a match against Jawhara FC in Larache, Morocco. The game finished 2-2. The scorers on the day were Munir Sibari and Ismail Bel Alal for Jawhara, and we had Mufi and Jad Khan, who scored for Stepney Football Club. Now, going back to Rush now, I want you to describe how it felt for you. You were obviously there. We visited your home, your village. We had some amazing hospitality from your uncle and your relatives whilst we were there. I think this is an experience the team will never ever forget. What did it mean for you to not only go back there as a visitor to see your family as well, but just to play football against your countrymen and your country folk, and having some of the people there, including your relatives, being present at the game there? Was it a proud moment for you?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's something, like I said, we wanted to do for a long time. Me personally, been sort of dogged by injuries for the last sort of season and a half. So it was my first bit of football for about a year now, and to play obviously on that sort of facility, the stadium, against, like my colleague said, Mufi, fantastic opposition, really good footballing team. A lot of them were sort of hitting their veterans at the end of the day, but still, really good standard of football. And luckily, a few family members there to watch as well, so really enjoyed it.
And would you ever plan to go back?
Oh yeah, without that. I'm a regular visitor, at least 2 to 3 times a year.
I think in the future what you'll need to do is you'll need to plan a bigger trip back as well. It won't be just you, because I think there'll be at least 18 other people who would want to go back with you each time you visit there as well.
Might need a bit more planning.
A lot more planning, absolutely. Right, Mufi, going back to you again now. You obviously took part in a football tour, but there were cultural visits as well. What were your impressions of the tannery you visited in Old Fez, in the Old Medina in Fez?
I think that was one of the highlights of the tour. Obviously, when Fez has got a lot of historic backgrounds to the city. The tannery we visited, obviously, we went to the sheepskin market, where obviously we saw sheepskin being produced from scratch, and then leather being produced. And then the tour around the Medina, we weren't hassled.
I understand that the boys really enjoyed the aroma at the tannery. Okay, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Obviously, apart from the smell, just to see, this is their bread and butter, basically. People producing sheepskin from fresh, sheep cover. But just getting the experience of walking around the Medina, we weren't hassled into going into shops. There were people selling their goods, but just the cultural side of it. The little alleyways, going into the mosque. That was an amazing feeling. One of the most beautiful mosques I've ever been to, and I'm sure my colleagues will agree. Praying salat inside the mosque, it was just an amazing experience.
You visited the mosque as well. I mean, I was there with you, Sham, when we visited the mosque. Ash, you were there as well, and I've got to agree with what Mufi is saying. It was something special, wasn't it? I've done my research on it since, and Jamia Al Qarawiyyin. It is the oldest known university in the world. And what I did enjoy myself, my impressions of walking around the old markets, for example, was what you just mentioned. There's very rarely any harassment, isn't it? What you associate with the Middle East, where people trying to pull you into the shop or the stores to sell it. I found the Moroccan people very, very mild-mannered. They had a very cool temperament. I'm sure not everybody's like that, just as with every other nation, but was something that was stand out for me in terms of the way people approached you, talked to you, and interacted with you as well. Sham, you were one of the braves who actually took a half-day journey down to Chefchaouen, the Blue Pearl, beautiful Blue Pearl. Tell us a little bit about your day trip there.
Well, it was an early morning start for half the team that managed to wake up and then take that trip. The outstanding memory would be a very picturesque little town with a lovely waterfall running down. I will never forget it. Looking back at some of the pictures, it's unbelievable. A very picturesque and something to sort of remember by for many a year, and then talk to your grandkids about. I've been there. Maybe take family members down there for a visit, perhaps. So a very picturesque and memorable place to visit. Something that's ticked off on the list now. And maybe for others to sort of maybe experience as well.
Rash, Stepney FC approach, it has a holistic approach. It's not just about football. As we can see from the conversation we're having here, we've played football over there. We've had cultural visits over there. We've been around the markets. But some of the members of the team took some time out, including yourself, to, should we say, go and visit those less fortunate than us, fellow human beings who are not in such a fortunate position as ourselves. I understand you and our good friend Mustafa Mascherano and myself and some of us, we actually visited an orphanage there. Is there a need for us to also look out for those who are less fortunate?
Oh yeah, that's, it goes without saying. We should be grateful for the lives we live in. Got all the sort of facilities and the means to strive, and you've got to think about others who haven't got obviously those means. We're fortunate enough to visit a local orphanage. We also went to the old people's home. We managed to obviously make a donation there, which was obviously very grateful for it. In particular, the orphanage. I'd like to, obviously with your help, I'd like to set up something where we could make it a regular thing, where we can go out there, God willing, and just really help, because there's kids out there as young as 1, 2. Like I said, orphans. It's a horrible feeling to kids to obviously go through that.
The orphans themselves are some of the most vulnerable people, I should add, in our community. I was one of the few who actually visited the orphanage in Larache, and it was a very quick stopover for us, but the impact has been immense. Some of us have taken it on board. Actually, the whole team have been fully backing of us in this regard. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put a wide-scale appeal out to everybody. It's not going to go on the internet. There's not going to be a Just Giving link. But I've been approaching friends, close friends and family for support. If you would like to get involved and provide some financial support, even moral support, please feel free to get directly in contact with me over this as well. Muffi, going back to you, the fact that we did so much as a football team in 4 days over there speaks volumes about the character in this team. Do you feel, if youngsters are watching this video, and there will be many youngsters who will be watching this video and this interview, do you think that football in itself has had a positive impact in every sense during our visit to Morocco?
Yeah, I think it definitely has. I think football's been just a bonus on the tour. Yeah, we went as a football club, but as you say, the visits we've done to the mosque, the university, the visits to the orphanage, the old people's home, it just puts a different perspective into your own life. As Rachid said, we're very fortunate. We've got the luxuries we have here. People around the world, they don't have the same luxuries as we do, and it's just makes you ponder. You should always be grateful for what you have. But as I said, apart from the football, that was just a bonus to the tour. The main experience was visiting you guys visiting the orphanage and the old people's home, and just trying to help the less fortunate out there. And if you can do it as a regular thing, then that's one commitment that Stepney Football Club can put in to help those people.
Brilliant. Sham, are you gearing up for the Summer League? How's your preparations?
The Summer League is an annual sort of league that happens over in Stepney now on the 3G. We've been fortunate to be in the Premier League for many years, and we hope to sort of keep that going. Preparation is gonna start very soon. We are looking forward to it with a new manager in place now, and then this was just a sort of taster, a pre-season taster to sort of Morocco, playing a game, getting together, and from the back of that we hope to sort of prepare and then play in the Summer League this year.
And Rash, would you be happy to organise any future tours like this again?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. From the positive feedback from everyone, I don't see a reason why we can't do it again. Like Muffazzal was saying earlier, started off. They've started off their group about 20 years ago. I've been fortunate enough to be around 15 years now with the team, and it's gone on from becoming more like Barcelona's motto, it's more than a football club. That's exactly the feeling we've got here. It's more of a family, and yeah, I'd be more than happy to do another trip.
Thank you for coming onto the sports show. As you can see from the interview we've just done there, the team had a marvellous time in Morocco. It's memorable for many reasons. First of all, the team went on a football tour, but we met up with some amazing people. Special thanks go out to the manager of Jawhara Football Club, Saeed Watani, to the family of Rash for their amazing hospitality. We have at least 18 members of our team who will never forget the hospitality that we received over there. Another thanks goes out to Mustafa Mascherano, Sufyan as we know him as well, and all the other people who accommodated us during our visit. I think what we can learn from a visit and tour like this is as follows. There will be many young people taking inspiration from the video that we have just seen. And what it tells us is this: football is not only a medium to keep fit and enjoy and use as a pastime, but it also is something that educates us. It has introduced us to new friends, it has rekindled old friendships, and it has also helped to break down many barriers. Thank you for watching The Sports Show.